Watch your step or he's gonna take your leg. The Trapper is the rightful face of the killers in Dead by Daylight, and the name of his game is Area Denial. Before we get into it, here's a short clip on how it's like to go up against him. Fuck! Now moving on, the Trapper's unique perks are very helpful to new players, so let's go through them. Unnerving Presence makes skill checks pop up more frequently when survivors are in your terror radius and also reduces the success zone of the skill check, making it very hard to do them. Brutal Strength is also an excellent perk, making the time to destroy pallets much faster, allowing you to apply a lot more pressure when you're chasing. Plus, the less time you spend on destroying the pallets, the better, and it's great for late game if the survivors, had a dependency on them and now they have nothing left to go to because you destroyed them all. Agitation is a great perk for transportation. This perk increases your speed when carrying a body, allowing you to cover much longer distances in a very short amount of time. This gives you a peace of mind when transporting, since even if you're far from a hook, agitation will give you that push you need to be able to make it before the survivor wiggles out. Now if you like, you can pair this up with Iron Grasp and no one will be able to escape once you get a hold of them. Now for add-ons. You'll have add-ons like the gloves, which will decrease the time it takes to set the bear traps, allowing you to be more efficient with your trap setting. The springs will make it harder to escape and be rescued from a trap when caught at the cost of increasing the trap's set time. However, if you pair this up with the gloves, you can have the benefits of the springs without the drawbacks. Jaws will make survivors bleed much more when caught, which makes it easier to find their blood on the floor, allowing you to follow the trail straight to them. Unfortunately, traps can be broken with a toolbox or the saboteur perk, just like hooks, but with a waxing brick, it makes it harder for the survivors to do so by reducing the skill check success zone. You'll always start the game with one trap and only be able to carry one trap. But with the bags, you'll be able to start with 2 traps and also carry 2 traps. This is great because it minimizes the time you spend looking for traps, since you'll now have 2 at your disposal at all times instead of settling for just 1. Tar balls and dyes make it harder for the survivors to spot bear traps by making them much darker. In some maps, it's really easy to hide the traps within tall grass, but in others, like the Doctor's Hospital or the Asylum, the bronze color really stick out and catches the survivor's attention. Finally, the rarer add-ons such as the Honing Stones give a chance to outright down any survivors caught in a bear trap simply instead of injuring them, so you won't have to worry about them escaping and running to safety. So moving on to gameplay, when you start as a trapper, I recommend you set at least 2 traps before patrolling. Now, where you set these traps is the most important part. One thing you have to understand is the Trapper is considered an area denial character, so it's not about catching the survivors as much as it is about denying the paths they take. That's why it's common for trappers to set up traps in choke points. Choke points are places where survivors will run to in case of an emergency or if they need to evade you. Common choke points are the pallet pathways and windows. These are recommended because survivors tend to gravitate to them in case they get caught, so they have an escape route. But if a trap is there, you just denied their escape route, therefore making it harder for them to evade you. So when you start out, look for these choke points and set traps, and eventually a survivor may step into them. After you get your 2 traps set up, now you get to the challenging part of the Trapper, time management. You must patrol to find survivors, but you also must make time to go and set up traps and choke points. There's no real strategy to this, it just comes with playing the Trapper, so you gotta rely on your gut instinct on what to do. You don't need all traps to be set up, but you do need a decent amount of them to be set up, so you can be effective when it comes to denying their paths. Now moving on to more specific situations you'll find yourself in with the Trapper. Say you down a survivor and they're close to the basement inside the killer shack. With the Trapper, you can almost completely deny a save if they're in the basement by trapping both ends of the doors and the window. This will take time, but if set up properly, any survivor who goes for the save is going to get caught or alert you that they're there. And even then, 2 of the 3 escape routes are blocked, making it harder for them to get out in time. As a Trapper, always be aware of where your traps are. Here I see survivor trigger a gen and I go to investigate. I see I have a trap set up near the area, so I check to make sure the survivor hasn't gone past it. Once I see blood marks near the trap, I find her and cut her off to make sure she doesn't go past me and away from the trap. As I hit her, I block the route away from the trap as she sees a pallet and goes to it so she can safely escape. She doesn't see the trap and falls right for it. Here, I successfully use my presence to guide the survivor right into my trap. This is never guaranteed, but when it works, you have a secured down and a hook nearby to get him. Now, one thing you need to watch out for is stepping in your own traps. The traps will catch you if you step on them, causing you to lose a few seconds of time getting your leg out and resetting them. However, if you're carrying a survivor, you will drop the survivor, allowing them to run away from you as you get your leg out, so always be aware of the traps. And after that, that's all the basics you need to know when playing the Trapper. I hope this guide helps you, and since I've been asked, yes, I'll be doing more of these killer tutorials, and thank you so much for watching.